These are obviously taking a major toll on President Biden's approval rating, with support from key groups actually plummeting over the last year. You're not going to believe some of these numbers if you haven't been tracking them. We have, and we share them with you tonight. Biden's approval rating among Hispanics, for example, reaching a new low, cratering to just 26% approval. Among whites, not much better, settling in at 32% according to the latest Quinnipiac survey. Let's discuss more about what's going on behind these numbers with tonight's panel. Now, usually they're the Bream team, but tonight we're going to call them the Corke crew.
The Corke crew, we're ready.
I think Shannon would approve. Democratic strategist and former Biden campaign surrogate Kevin Walling, and VP of Tax Strategies and former Trump 2020 Director of Press Comms, Erin Perrine. Kev, let me begin with you. I'm sure I don't have to sort of go through a long recitation of all the things that are happening right now that would be negative in terms of impacting the president's polling. But I'm just curious, as you see that number among Hispanics in particular, as we sort of break out the numbers in general, that's got to be frightening. How about you?
Yeah, Kevin, it's a great point. And actually, I wrote a piece for Fox News that was out yesterday highlighting that specific issue with Hispanic voters. Listen, they were part of Joe Biden's winning 2020 coalition in key states like Nevada, obviously California, New York, deeply blue states, but also purple states as well. They make up the difference in a lot of congressional districts. So these numbers are very troubling as we're less than 6 months away from the midterm elections. There's going to be key races in Florida in terms of South Florida. There's going to be key races in Orange County, California. Great pickup opportunities for Democrats if we get on board with Hispanic voters. But this is not a issue just for the midterms. This is a cyclical issue. We have to remember that we have to engage with Hispanic voters not just 2, 3, 4 weeks after the election, but we have to have an ongoing conversation and make the case to them and with them throughout this entire process.
No, you're right about that, because it's not just about, what we call kitchen table issues. Yes, it's the border. Yes, it's obviously small business and taxes and security, not just in general for the country, but for families. I think that's a major issue for the Hispanic coalition, and obviously Republicans are hoping to take advantage of the sliding numbers by the president. I want to shift focus for just a second there, Erin. I'm sure you'd like to weigh in on that, but for time's sake, I want to get your take on the Buffalo shooting. And I want to share what the Wall Street Journal had to say and then get your reaction on the backside of this. I think we all saw how Democrats and their surrogates, largely in the media, were attempting to tie the shooter, who's obviously disturbed, with the Republican Party. Here's what the editorial board at the Wall Street Journal said earlier today. The media's massacre blame game also only goes one way. When a deranged black man ran down white grandmothers at Waukesha, Wisconsin holiday parade, media soon turned away from that awful story. I shared that to say this. When we talk about what's happening broadly, with the way people see Republicans and the polling that you and I just talked about, Kevin, Erin, I have to say, there are a number of leaking areas for the Democrats, and if they don't figure it out soon, they're going to get hammered come the fall.
Yes, they will get hammered come the fall, but a couple of quick things. One, my heart goes out to the Buffalo community. I'm from an hour east of Buffalo. I'm from Rochester, New York myself. This is a strong, resilient community. You are seeing them stand together, and that is the best of America. Mental health has no partisan divide here in this country, and it is something we need to aggressively look at in this country, especially after the COVID-19 pandemic and lockdowns. It's going to have a direct result going forward. Now, on the polling, let's pivot completely away from Buffalo here. When we go and we look at what's happening right now overall for Joe Biden's approval rating to the day of this point in his administration, 538 has him tied for his overall approval at 41.1. You know who that's tied with? Jimmy Carter. And isn't that just saying it all for Democrats? We are talking about stagflation, inflation. We're talking about crisis after crisis. We're talking about the botched Afghanistan withdrawal. There couldn't be more of a mirror effect of the malaise of the Carter administration than you are seeing right now with the Biden administration. Every time you see Democrats step up and try to talk to the American people, you see them send a mixed message. Last week, Jen Psaki at the podium, we can't use the Defense Production Act on infant formula. This week, you see the administration all of a sudden in the last week decided to maybe look into this and step up to the challenge that families are facing. This administration has been one step behind throughout, and the level of incompetence with the Joe Biden administration is staggering.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think Pete Buttigieg said, nor should it be used, which is a problem that he's going to have with the leaders over at the White House. In the 20 seconds we have left, I just want to run this by you both. Quick answers. Kevin, first, then to you, Erin. Is Joe Biden going to run again in 2024? Is he going to be the standard bearer, Kev?
Absolutely. I believe that he is. He's given every indication that he's running again. He's raising money for his campaign for the DNC, and he will show that he can beat Donald Trump if he's the nominee once again in just 2 years.
Erin, what say you? And maybe, I guess, the better question might have been, should he be? But, Erin, do you think he's running again?
Well, one, I think for the benefit of the country, Joe Biden should not run because we've seen 2 years in what a disaster he has been. But as a Republican and our ability to win back the White House, I say yes, please, Joe Biden, run again, because as it turns the country in the wrong direction, the American people will continue to see that Republicans have the solutions for the economies, jobs, their families, and the future of this nation. Please run again. We welcome it.
Bring it on, Erin. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it, guys. I look forward to talking about it until all the way through the midterms, and then afterwards we'll have you back. Erin and Kev, thank you so much. We appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you.